There comes a moment when the narcissist looks for you, and you're simply not there anymore, not in their messages, not in their mind games, not even in their power, and in that silence something shifts. For the first time, they feel what you once felt: empty, unseen, and replaceable. That's the moment they realize you've truly moved on, and that's the beginning of your freedom. There comes a moment in every survivor's journey when silence becomes their loudest statement. It's the point where explanations feel pointless, defenses feel draining, and the urge to prove yourself finally dissolves. That's when you realize silence is not weakness, it's power. For so long, the narcissist conditioned you to respond. They thrived on your reactions, your confusion, your desire to fix things. Every argument, every apology, every attempt to make them understand was fuel. It fed their ego, reassured them that they still had control over your emotions. But when you finally stop speaking into the void, when you stop trying to make them see your worth, something powerful shifts, not in them, but in you. Silence is not just the absence of words, it's the presence of strength. It's the boundary that says, you no longer have access to me. It's the moment you realize you don't owe explanations to someone who never truly listened. The narcissist will interpret your silence as arrogance or punishment because they can't comprehend calm detachment. They expect noise, confrontation, chaos, anything that proves you're still emotionally tied to them. When they get nothing but peace, they panic. That panic is their realization that their control has slipped away. At first, they may try to provoke you. They'll send messages that sound concerned, nostalgic, or even apologetic. They'll post things online that are designed to trigger you, but your silence, your decision not to engage, will unsettle them more than any response ever could. That's the paradox. Narcissists can handle your anger, but they can't handle your indifference. Anger still means you care. Indifference means they've lost significance, and that's the one thing their ego can't bear. Silence also heals. When you stop speaking to defend your truth, you start hearing your own voice again. The noise fades. The chaos quiets. You begin to recognize the peace that was waiting underneath all along. In silence, you begin to remember who you were before the manipulation, before the gaslighting, before the confusion. You start to rebuild your sense of self, not through their validation, but through your own awareness. Every moment of silence becomes a brick in the foundation of your healing. And here's the truth: your silence doesn't punish them, it protects you. It's not about making them suffer, it's about making yourself safe. It's about choosing peace over participation in their dysfunction. Silence is your way of saying, I'm done performing in a play that was never mine. You no longer seek closure from the person who broke you. You create closure by choosing stillness. Eventually, that silence grows into power. You start to feel stronger, more centered, more in control. You learn that peace is not the absence of noise, it's the presence of clarity, and while they may never understand your silence, you will. It will become your language of freedom, the quiet anthem of your healing, and the most profound declaration that you've moved on for good. Detachment is one of the hardest lessons to learn when you've loved a narcissist. It goes against everything your heart has been conditioned to do. You were taught to fix, to explain, to give one more chance, but the truth is, no amount of reasoning can awaken someone who feeds on emotional chaos. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring for yourself enough to step away from the destruction. It's the quiet, steady decision to no longer be part of the pattern, and that's what breaks the cycle. For so long, your emotions were the narcissist's favorite tool. They pushed your buttons to watch you react. They studied what made you angry, what made you apologize, what made you stay. They didn't crave your love, they craved your energy. Every argument, every tear, every desperate attempt to be understood was a source of power for them. When you finally detach, you take that power back. You stop being their emotional supply, and for the first time, the dynamic shifts in your favor. Detachment isn't coldness. It's not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about feeling everything and still choosing peace. It's standing in your truth without needing to explain it. It's knowing you could respond, but deciding that your silence will protect your energy more than any words ever could. When you detach, you begin to see clearly. The manipulation that once confused you now becomes predictable. The love that once felt intoxicating now feels toxic. What once drew you in now repels you. That's the beauty of emotional distance. It gives you clarity that chaos never could. And the narcissist feels it immediately. They sense when you're no longer emotionally available. They'll test you, trying to pull you back into the storm through guilt, pity, or charm. But when you remain detached, they start to lose interest, not because they're suddenly mature enough to let go, but because they can't stand not being in control. Without your reactions, there's no drama. Without drama, there's no attention. And without attention, they feel invisible. Your detachment starves their ego. At first, this may make you feel guilty. You've been conditioned to believe that silence equals cruelty. But understand this, detachment is not punishment, it's protection. You're not being cruel, you're being kind to yourself. You're breaking a cycle that was never meant to continue. Each time you resist reacting, you're teaching yourself self-respect. Each time you choose calm over conflict, you're reclaiming your peace. Eventually, your emotional detachment becomes your freedom. The same triggers that once consumed you no longer hold power. You stop replaying old memories. You stop wondering if they miss you or regret losing you. Because you finally realize that no longer matters. What matters is that you've stopped chasing validation from someone incapable of giving it. Detachment isn't the end of love. It's the beginning of self-love. It's how you end the cycle, reclaim your life, and finally breathe again. Healing after narcissistic abuse doesn't look the way people imagine it does. It's not a grand moment of revenge or a loud declaration of freedom. It's quiet, it's steady. It happens in small, almost invisible ways in how you start to breathe easier, how you begin to laugh again, how you sleep peacefully for the first time in months. Healing doesn't come with fireworks, it comes with peace, and that peace is the greatest victory you'll ever know. For so long, your mind was conditioned to live in reaction. You woke up waiting for the next argument, the next manipulation, the next emotional blow. You were taught that love meant survival, walking on eggshells, staying small, trying to keep the peace even when it was never yours to keep. But healing teaches you something different. It teaches you that you don't have to fight for peace. You simply have to stop engaging with chaos. That's the moment your power begins to return. The narcissist thrives on your energy, on the chaos they can create inside you. They know how to provoke you, how to guilt you, how to make you question your worth. They want you to stay trapped in that emotional loop because as long as you're reacting, you're still connected to them. But when you begin to heal, you start breaking those invisible chains. You stop responding to every text, stop defending yourself against lies, stop explaining your heart to someone who's already decided not to understand it. And in that silence, you begin to feel your strength again. Healing doesn't look like revenge because revenge still keeps you tied to them. Every thought of getting even, every fantasy of making them regret losing you, still centers them in your story. But peace removes them completely. It takes your power and places it back where it belongs, within you. Peace doesn't mean you've forgotten what happened. It means you've accepted it without letting it define you. You understand that you can't change the past, but you can protect your future. There will be days when healing feels like nothing at all, when you question whether you've made any progress. But healing is not linear. It's the quiet moments of choosing yourself. It's turning off your phone instead of checking for their message. It's setting a boundary and keeping it. It's realizing that your happiness no longer depends on how someone else treats you. That's what real growth looks like, calm, grounded, and beautifully unbothered. And while the narcissist may look for your reaction, hoping to see the old version of you, the one who pleaded, cried, explained, they'll find only silence. Because peace has taken her place, healing isn't loud, but it's powerful. It's the energy that says, I've outgrown this pain. And that quiet peace, that stillness in your heart, is something no narcissist can ever destroy. That's not revenge. That's freedom. There's always a moment that catches the narcissist off guard, the moment they realize you've actually moved on. For them, it's unthinkable. They've built their entire sense of power on the illusion that you'll always come back, that you'll always be available to feed their ego, that you'll always orbit around their emotional gravity. When you finally detach, when your energy shifts, and they feel the silence instead of your attention, it rattles them to their core. Their realization comes too late, and that's what makes it so powerful. In the beginning, they don't believe it. Narcissists live in a world where everyone is replaceable except for them. They think they can vanish, discard, and return at will, and you'll be waiting, ready to pick up where they left off. But when they return and find indifference instead of longing, peace instead of pain, something inside them cracks. Their ego can't process the loss of control. They start to sense the emptiness of their own illusion. You see, narcissists don't actually want love, they want possession. They want ownership over your emotions. They don't miss you asterisk. They miss the version of themselves reflected in your attention. So when you move on, when you stop reacting to their games, you take away that mirror. Suddenly, they're faced with something they've spent their entire life avoiding, themselves, and they don't like what they see. Their realization doesn't come with remorse, it comes with panic. They'll test your boundaries, trying to lure you back in with the same tactics that used to work. They may send nostalgic messages, post things online meant to catch your attention, or pretend to have changed. But when they realize you no longer respond, not with anger, not with curiosity, not at all, that's when the truth hits them. They never had real power over you. They only had the power you allowed them to believe they had, and now it's gone. This realization terrifies them because deep down, narcissists fear abandonment more than anything else. But what they fail to see is that they created the very abandonment they fear. Their manipulation, their cruelty, their emotional neglect, all of it pushed you toward freedom. And by the time they realize it, you've already healed. You're no longer fighting to prove your worth, you're living it. When they look at you now, they see calm confidence where there used to be chaos. They see a glow that doesn't depend on their validation. And though they might try to act indifferent deep down, they know they lost someone they can't replace. But for you, that realization no longer matters. Their regret doesn't feed your peace. Their pain doesn't define your healing. Because you finally understand, their realization came too late, and your peace came right on time. That's the beauty of moving on. You don't have to destroy them. Your silence already did. Reclaiming your identity after a narcissistic relationship is one of the most powerful acts of self-love you will ever experience. For so long, your sense of self was slowly erased, piece by piece, under the weight of manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional control. You were made to believe that you were too much, too sensitive, too demanding, too broken, and yet somehow never enough. The narcissist's voice became louder than your own. Their approval became the measure of your worth. But when you begin to heal, when you start reclaiming who you truly are, you realize something life-changing. You were never too much. You were simply surrounded by someone too small to handle your light. Reclaiming your identity doesn't happen overnight. It's a gentle, sacred process of rediscovery. At first, it feels strange, like meeting yourself again after years of being lost. You start asking questions you haven't asked in a long time. What do I like? What brings me peace? What kind of energy do I want in my life? These questions become the compass that guides you back to your authentic self. You start to notice the colors you love, the music that stirs your soul, the silence that feels safe. You realize that your happiness is no longer dependent on anyone's validation. That's when the real transformation begins. The narcissist conditioned you to believe your worth came from how well you served their needs. They rewarded compliance and punished independence. Every time you tried to express your truth, they twisted it into guilt or shame, but now you no longer apologize for existing. You no longer shrink to fit someone else's comfort. You begin to speak your truth, not to convince anyone, but because your voice matters again. Each time you stand up for yourself, each time you honor your boundaries, you reclaim another piece of your stolen identity. Reclaiming yourself also means forgiving yourself, not for what you did, but for what you tolerated when you didn't know better. You were trying to love someone who didn't know what love was. You were trying to fix someone who benefited from staying broken. And that's not weakness, that's compassion misplaced. Healing teaches you where to place that compassion now within yourself. You start to nurture the parts of you that were silenced. You learn to trust your intuition again, to believe your own emotions, to feel safe in your own company. And slowly, your reflection changes. You see strength where you once saw shame. You see courage where you once saw fear. You see a survivor who has turned pain into purpose. Reclaiming your identity means remembering that you were never defined by what happened to you. You were shaped by it, yes, but not limited by it. You are not what they said you were. You are what you choose to become. And that choice, made in quiet strength, is the most powerful freedom of all. Emotional indifference is often misunderstood. People think it means you've become cold, detached, or numb, but in truth, indifference is mastery. It's the calm after the storm, the peace that comes from finally being free of emotional hooks. When you reach the point where you can think about the narcissist without pain, without anger, without the urge to react, that's when you know you've truly healed. It's not that you don't care anymore, it's that you care differently. You care about yourself, your energy, and your peace more than you care about trying to understand or fix someone who was never willing to meet you halfway. Indifference doesn't happen suddenly. It's the final stage of emotional recovery, the point that comes after heartbreak, confusion, grief, and anger. It's born out of exhaustion first. You get tired of replaying conversations, tired of wondering why, tired of hoping for closure. Eventually, you stop giving energy to the past because it no longer deserves your attention. What used to trigger anxiety now brings nothing but stillness. You no longer check their profile, reread their messages, or wonder how they are doing. Not because you hate them, but because you finally understand that none of it matters anymore. When you reach emotional indifference, you no longer seek validation. You no longer need to prove your worth to the person who tried to destroy it. The narcissist thrives on reaction, your anger, your sadness, your confusion. They need emotional chaos to feel alive. But when you stop reacting, when you offer nothing but calm silence, their control collapses. They lose their grip because you've taken away their favorite source of power, your emotions. They can no longer manipulate what they can't access. Your indifference becomes the mirror they can't stand to look into, because it reflects the truth they never had control, only the illusion of it. This kind of peace doesn't come from pretending you're fine. It comes from doing the inner work. You've cried, you've grieved, you've accepted what happened. You've learned to stop trying to make sense of someone whose entire life runs on contradiction. And through that process, you've built emotional muscles, resilience, clarity, and self-respect. Indifference is not suppression. It's the natural outcome of deep healing. You don't have to fake it. One day, it simply arrives quietly, beautifully, completely. The narcissist may try to re-enter your life to test if your peace is real. They might poke, provoke, or plead, but when you can look at them and feel nothing, no hate, no longing, no need, that's freedom. It's not the coldness of detachment, it's the warmth of self-control. Emotional indifference means you've finally reclaimed your power. You are no longer defined by what they did to you. You're defined by what you did next. You healed. You rose, you moved on, and in that unshakable calm, you found the truest form of victory, peace.